You name it, we've lived it.
And are living it.
Brits moving from the UK all the way to Australia with not a pot to piss in.
A whirlwind romance sparkled on Tinder.
3 months in, pregnant, starting 2 now successful businesses through COVID.
To another 2 new businesses post-COVID, whilst juggling 2 young, spirited children.
Living worldwide, travelling and pure hustle. We are nothing short of batshit crazy, but motivated as fuck. We are here to tell you our story,
inspire,
teach,
and probably scare the crap out of you.
Uncut, raw and real. Welcome to Business Babies and Banter
with Henry
and Jade.
So welcome to Business Babies and Banter. I'm Henry.
And I'm Jade.
And we're back in our new studio in Bali.
Woo!
And I don't know what this one's about.
Yes, you do.
Which one are we doing first?
We're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Bali. And I think this is a really interesting one because, of course, most people that we work with, are friends with, or have relationships with are either in predominantly Australia, but also England, of course, right? And for most people, they're like normal, are curious as to what the fuck are you doing in Bali? How does it
live? How are your children not dead from?
No, not. I wouldn't.
That's what they do. How's Jude alive?
Well, no. A funny thing is, someone said to me the other day. I can't remember who it was, but they were like, "I'm a bit worried about bringing my 6-month-old to Bali just in case they get really sick." And I was like, "My fucker was born in Bali in the jungle, and he's absolutely fine." And all 3 of my kids are here, so yeah, it is a different world and perspective. But I guess pros and cons of living here and what the fuck goes on here, Henry. I would love for you to start with, let's talk about work. Like what are the pros and cons in your mind of being here in the context of work?
Well, I think, Bali is set up for the digital nomad, I think is what they call it, right? So, where we're at right now, all the cafes, all the places full of people who are on their laptops working. And it is a place where you can focus and you can get things done. Time zone's great.
For Australia.
Yeah. Culture-wise, everyone's in a similar boat. There's loads of people here that are either entrepreneurial or working remotely. So for me, there's less distractions. You're not going out. There's less things to do. Everything gets delivered. So you can actually... there's the pro. The reality is, there's some days where we don't leave the house for 2 or 3 days. We just don't leave the house. Shopping gets delivered. 3 meals a day get delivered. Work out at home. You don't need to leave. So from a work perspective, you can really knuckle down.
So for context, guys, we literally do sweet fuck all other than spend time with our kids, which is super important, and work. We don't clean,
the nanny
we
picks them
don't
up from
cook,
school.
We don't do washing, we don't have to do school pickup. We try and do it a couple of times a week, but yeah, we don't have to drop them off, pick them up.
The barber comes to the house.
The barber comes to the house.
The
masseuse comes once a week. We are just able to work from 6 o'clock in the morning, which is 9 a.m. in Australia, Eastern Standard Time. And we can just get our heads down. And it is like, it's so hectic though, isn't it? Because we do so much, it will literally get to 4 o'clock and I'm like, I haven't brushed my teeth. I haven't showered. I haven't brushed my hair. And I'm still in my pajamas.
Yeah, you don't catch a break. Because look, if people are scheduling meetings with you at 9 a.m. or, we have a salon morning meeting at 9 a.m., which is 6 a.m. So by the time 6 a.m. comes around, you're on a Zoom call. Then you come off the Zoom call, you've got calls with all the other employees in the other areas. And then before you know it, you're sat there just catching up with conversations, people asking questions. So the time does get by. And
the
it's
funniest is when it gets to fucking 2 o'clock and people are like, great day, guys, see you. And you're like, what do you mean, see you? And it's because it's 2 o'clock here, but it's 5 o'clock there.
But no, I guess that's another good point. For someone, I feel like I get 2 days out of every day because my day is 6 till 2, which is Australia time. And then everyone logs off. The employees go home at 2 o'clock on the fucking dot. Never miss a beat.
Fuck.
And
4:59. Logging up, guys.
And then we've still got another 2-3 hours of getting on with things and being able to work on stuff without constantly having to communicate with
It's
people.
also presence with the kids, right? Like,
And then you get the
they
evenings
come home, and they do after school club most days, which they fucking love. They do like, what are they doing tonight? Capoeira and
and
fucking
cooking.
cooking class.
I can't wait to
Harper
eat some of
comes
those
home with
chocolate
buns, and
buns.
I mean, don't know where her hands have been all day, but it's a nice thought, and no one's got worms or any infections so far. But and then we get quality time with them.
Yeah.
We get to choose that because everyone in Australia is offline. And I think that's such a blessing because traditionally, if your kids are finishing school at 3, even if it's 4 in Australia, that's halfway through the workday. And I used to wear that in Australia. It
Yeah.
was a fucking nightmare. I'd be
Yeah.
halfway through my day and I'd be like, oh my God, I've got to get Hugo in 15 minutes. And then it's like I'm losing hours and hours and hours.
Mm.
Um,
And also that 6 a.m., actually starting your day at 6 a.m. So many people in Australia will get up at 6 a.m. and they'll go to the gym or
mm,
they'll do stuff, and that 6 till 9 is usually their me time for a
yeah.
lot of for a
And
lot of
he's like,
cases.
something called me time? I don't know what that is, but is
But
that what people call it?
yeah, that's their me time. But for us, we get the me time at the other end of the day
Yeah.
because that's our work time. So, and
Yeah.
I prefer that. I prefer to start the day and get on with it.
Mm,
And then we're going to the gym after this. We
mm.
then got evening with dinner with the kids, so we can have a bit more of balance, even though we are working flat stick.
Yeah, it's weird. It's the ability to not be pulled pillar to post. There's no driving. If you factored in all the driving from the office to the salon, back to back to the office and then home and then pick up, that takes up like
2 hours of the
at
day.
2 hours of your
Mm,
day. You then factor in loading the dishwasher. You then factor in unloading it, cooking, cleaning, putting the wash load on. We're gaining like 15 hours a week, I reckon. Well, probably me more than you because half the more the housewife at home. But you are an excellent help. Can't
yeah,
dispute. All right. Work's a fucking. I would. What would you give working in Bali out of 10? I'd give it a fucking 10 out of 10
yeah, it's up there. I mean,
for work.
the only thing that you do sometimes, you don't have the same presence
We're,
which
we're going to
some
go on
people
to the
need.
negatives. We're going to go on to the
Well,
negatives.
it's not negative.
Okay, what are the negatives about working in Bali then?
Um,
Not being present is a
Not being
really good
present.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is
Not saying,
like,
we're trusting what's happening by what people are saying. And
mm,
sometimes when we're there and we see it, we're like, it's not that bad.
yeah.
Or it's actually a lot fucking worse than what they're saying as well. But we
Henry's like, these fucking floors haven't been mopped in weeks. I'm coming in early tomorrow. These fuckers. I'm like, calm down, Henry. He's got a thing about floors, just for anyone that wants to know. He loves a good fucking clean mopped floor, don't you? Loves a
only a
mopped floor.
polished wooden floor. Well, you got to have if it's a wooden polished floor, it has to be sparkling. Anyway, what's your main negatives of
Um,
working in Bali?
I guess the negatives for me, I would say the benefits outweigh the negatives, but that 6 a.m. start, even though it doesn't bother me because I'm up anyway, it's not a thing. It's just I do really love going to the gym in the morning. That was my routine. That was my
Yeah,
thing.
but
I
it's
would
hard.
wake up before the kids, and obviously we didn't have Jude then as well, so that's an additional layer of challenge. But in Australia, wake up, go straight to the gym, come back, the kids would be awake, would then have a shower, get changed, drop. And that was I really enjoyed that. And I felt like my personal cup and goals were being met. And because we start at 6, the only way that I could physically do any training would be if I woke up at 4. But then you can't go to the gym
It's
because
too
the gyms
dark.
don't
Gyms
fucking
don't
open here
open.
until
Yeah,
like,
7. They don't
God
open
knows
till
what
7.
time. Well, not even
Yeah,
7, mate.
no,
Sometimes it's like 8.
TT opens at
So
7.
TT opens at 7, but yeah, and it's not really
No,
feasible. So
that to be fair, that is the one thing that we're not as on is our fitness here. Just
yeah,
don't have the fucking time.
yeah. Okay, well that moves us into, doesn't it? That moves us into personal. Let's talk about personal. So, we've covered work. I think we both agree that from a work perspective, honestly, it's pretty fucking good. If you can work remotely, of course.
Mhm.
Right. And you have, you know, kids. I mean, imagine if we didn't have kids. We'd be living the life, mate. Fucking, we would be living the life.
But I don't know if I'd be here if we didn't have kids, to be
True,
honest.
true. But if hypothetically, we wouldn't be here. You're right. We're here because of the support that
Mm.
we actually can't survive without, right? But if hypothetically we were here, we would literally be able to swim, go out for day nights, travel around Bali on our moped.
I'd get bored.
I know you would.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, you're right. We would be in Australia, but personal pros and cons of living in Bali, working remotely from a personal perspective for you, Henry.
Don't know where to start. You go.
I feel like I miss my friends, definitely. And because of the sheer workload here, I've made a couple of nice friends. But like, building those relationships takes time and effort, and I don't have any fucking time. So the pre-established relationships that I have in Australia and England are easy because I don't need to make a huge effort to maintain. And when we see each other, it's like we never departed. So I think having that element, um, gym again, like that personal thing of just trying to squeeze it in, and the day being a bit topsy turvy because we start work so early. Um, I feel like I'm a lot calmer and more centered here, though. Probably accredited to the fact I'm not running around like a headless chicken physically. And I just feel like Bali's got a really calming energy. I don't know. I wake up and I look at the rice fields because obviously we have like rice fields outside my balcony bedroom window. It's like, wow. And, waking up and being even though we were in a beautiful suburb in Middle Park, it was still like cars, houses, it's just different.
Mm,
But yeah, personally, I feel a lot centered and more aligned. But I think that our time to have more personal time individually and together is coming. It's just wasn't our season because we had Judy,
yeah. Well,
who's
someone
only now
I
9 months old.
saw this thing, and this guy said, you're not going to be able to work a 60-hour week. Go play 2 rounds of golf at the weekend. Have an amazing, go on date nights all the time with your missus when you got kids. You just don't have. It's just not possible.
Mm.
When you've got kids, those things are a rarity, or they're a scarcity.
Mm.
And then when your kid's grown up, they want to spend less time with you, or they move out. That's when those things, you can do a lot more of those things, and it's true. And that's why I think, I feel like we're forced to, really. But at the same time, I also enjoy the fact that the relationship that we have with our kids now is,
Yeah.
I mean,
Epic.
it's brilliant. And I'm not too fussed about there being a negative of, we don't go out, or we don't party, or we don't go to events, or we don't do these sorts of things. Because to be honest with you, I don't even want to.
I fucking do.
Well,
I love a party. But no, do you know
no.
what? Because we can go back to Australia, like, and we do go back for work, right? It doesn't actually bother me because I can have that cup filled. I wouldn't want to go to a party every weekend. It'd fucking kill me, you know?
Yeah, but there's gonna be, there's seasons for it. And I think, we're gonna look back and they're gonna be older. Even like thinking about Hugo now. Jude's gonna be like that one day. And then
I
that's
know,
it.
wild.
And then there's no more little bastards running around. So I think Bali forces you to embrace
Yeah, be
family
present.
life. And I tell you, the other thing is that everyone in Bali, local people in Bali, no matter how poor they are, they're always fucking happy. You
Mm.
never walk into a mini mart or a Coca Mart or whatever they're called, and the woman behind the desk or the man behind the desk looks miserable. They always smile. They're always happy. They've got the people that've got nothing. They're always saying good morning. There's always got a smile. So it's very hard to have a bad day in Bali. Even if you're in a shit mood and you go out on your bike and you're driving around and you see all the locals, everyone's happy.
The only time I have a
They've all
bad
got
day
good
is when you
energy.
really piss me off and I'm stuck
Same,
at home with you.
same,
As soon as I get out, I'm fine.
same. I get pissed off when I'm like, right, you ready to go to this podcast? And I'm like, oh.
Um, no, I agree. I think that I think Bali, and as I said, we've already mentioned like the whole purpose of us being here right now, is not for leisure or personal gain or any other reason other than I found out I was pregnant and we were like, we cannot facilitate all the things we have to facilitate without additional support. So something had to be sacrificed, and it couldn't be a business. It obviously couldn't be the children. So it basically had to be all the shit, the cleaning,
Yeah.
the cooking, the washing, and just having someone to help
And
out 7 days a week.
yeah, and to be quite honest with you, 6-hour flight, Virgin,
Yeah.
internet on the plane.
Bish bash bosh, thanks for the dosh.
What's the problem? It's
Points,
great.
fly on points.
It's great.
Um,
No, but there are some cons.
yeah, absolutely. And
And
Henry, would you be so kind as to lift up your We're not. No offense, mate. The guy we're
No,
covering is his restaurant.
this is only because we're in a
We're in a
vegan.
plant-based. No,
Is it
plant-based. It's not vegan because I
Oh
do eggnog.
no, that's his own eggnog.
Oh, okay.
Plant
Anyway,
vegan.
there's a lot of vegan and plant-based things, and Henry being
I
the
asked her for an English breakfast, and she said, "Do you want coconut milk or oat milk?" So I got both to try.
and he's like, my grandmother would be turning in her grave.
We went with neither.
Oh, you just had it black, did you?
Just put a tiny bit.
Yeah. Nah, that's quite fucking funny though. So look, one of the one of the funny things about Bali is I think the food I actually think's awesome. There's loads of variety. Everything's available for delivery. When we're talking about delivery though, if there is a fucking sprinkle of rain, your order's getting cancelled. And it does not fucking matter if you got kids. So when we're talking about there's an app called Gojek or Grab for anyone that hasn't been to Bali or doesn't know. And it's kind of like Uber Eats, right?
It is Uber Eats, yeah.
Super cheap. They come on a bike because everything's on bikes here and they deliver your food to wherever you are. But if it starts raining, they don't care. They will just not come and cancel your order, even if the food's made. I don't actually know what happens. Maybe they just take it home to their wife and kids. But I have legitimately messaged before, and it was clear skies. You know how Bali can be clear and then suddenly it starts pissing it down. And I've said, oh, please make sure you come because we have 3 young children. They're all really hungry, right? And we've been waiting. And then he's like, yes, no worries, madam, no worries. And then you just get this notification cancelled. And it was like 6:45. We'd been waiting for over an hour just because it rained and he thought, can't be fucked. That is a massive con. Like that is, if you don't have a motorbike, which Henry does, and you want to get food, and it's raining, you can't get food basically, can you? You can't. How can you eat?
Well, that's why you should have food in the house, but yeah. That's why you should have something in the cupboard.
Well, to be fair, we
But
do.
we're unfit parents, so
No,
we just...
we are not unfit parents. We have food, guys. Just to be clear, we have breakfast. We have like baked beans, milk, coffee,
Eggs.
cereal, eggs, butter, bread. Like we have the basics, but
Tins
it's
of
not
tuna.
tins of tuna staple. I don't like the tuna here though. To be fair. That's another con. I don't like tuna here. Fucking tastes
Fussy.
well weird. But yeah, that is an issue. So basically, we can only serve our kids breakfast if in the event that it's
Yeah.
raining and we can't
Yeah.
get delivery, and Henry doesn't want to go out in the pissing rain, and it rains a lot here. It's
Yeah.
normal.
The other one of the negatives are... Why are you laughing?
Because I was just thinking about another funny one that I have to say, but I don't know if you're going to say it.
Another one is the dogs.
Are you going to talk about your incident?
Oh no, I won't talk about that. But no, but the dog, the dogs go through all the bins. They're fucking everywhere. Where we are, especially, there's our street.
There's a fucking army of
There's
dogs.
a fucking army of
And
dogs.
there's a
They're all
little orange
disgusting.
one, and he's the fucking boss, and he fucking tells everyone to piss off and barks at us when we go past, and
but
pisses on our house.
they rip all the bins open. They get the bin bags out. They have shitty nappies everywhere. They're like, and then the streets are covered in rubbish, and then it doesn't get picked up. So like that is the one side of Bali where they're recycling
no
and
animal
their
control.
litter control is needs to get better.
Can I just mention, guys, Henry tried to go for a leisurely run, tying straight into the dogs before we move on to the litter, because that is a big fucking issue as well. But Henry went for a leisurely run and came back, and his leg was dripping, and I was like, what the fuck has happened? He's like, a fucking dog just bit me. And because he was running, and he was like, it wasn't even a massive one, it was a little fat fluffy fucker that's at the end of the road. I was like, oh my God, you got a scar, haven't you?
This dog like latched onto my calf, and as I was running, he just like held onto it. So I've got these like massive holes. These like massive holes in like all the back of my leg and the side of my leg, like 4 holes where his teeth went into me, and it got infected. I was on like 3 rounds of antibiotics. I couldn't go in the pool. I couldn't work out.
He has to get rabies injections.
Had to get rabies injections, which cost me like 2 million.
And they were like, if we have no rabies injection, no worries. Just check to see if dog dies.
Yeah, if the dog dies, if the dog doesn't die, you're okay. I'm like, I was like, no, bro, you're fucking giving me the injection. But yeah, so. No, but that's a rare thing. But there are the dogs that they do run the show. They lie in the middle of the road and everyone goes round them.
Mm.
Like they just lie in the middle of the road and cars just go round them and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's just different
The
here.
the dog, yeah. I mean, cats aren't such a thing, are they? There are definitely stray cats, but then it's not like ratchet with them. But the dogs are. I mean, and I love dogs, but we have to teach the kids that doggies in Bali are different to doggies in Australia
Yeah.
because Harper would just go up to any dog and say, "Oh, nice stroke," but no, she's more cautious because we've had to teach them.
Yeah.
But it is, it wouldn't stop me from enjoying it, but it's something that you just have to get used to and take on board. Basically, they're literally everywhere. I'm trying to learn to drive a scooter at the moment, moped scooter, and yeah, like I'm genuinely, the dogs don't move out the way. They don't care. They just lie in the middle
And
of
they
the
cross the
road.
road in
They
front
cross
of
the road
you.
in front of
They
you. No
just,
fucks given.
yeah.
Like it's really scary. And I guess that could potentially be another con, like the traffic and the car situation. Like I'd love to have a car here. It'd be awesome, just to drive around, but it's actually not feasible to drive in
I think the
Bali.
road situation here is a pro, not a con.
Really?
Yeah, because
Explain.
there's no rules. So in Australia, the reason why accidents happen is because people anticipate that you're going to abide by the rule. So you get to a roundabout, you fucking look to your right, and you give way. But guess what happens when you're going around the roundabout? When you see someone coming into the thing, right, they're going to give way. I'm going around the roundabout, and then they go forward, and then you drive into them. So when people don't abide by the rules, there's accidents. Whereas here, there are no fucking rules. So everyone has to be really switched on. And
No.
you give way to what's in front of you. I've never seen an accident here. I've not seen anyone fall off their
Do you know
bike.
what's
I've
funny
not seen a
though?
crash. I've never felt scared on the bike. The roads are busy, but everyone, like, if you push in front of someone, they stop and they let you go in front. And that's kind of how it is. You just push your way in and then they let you go.
The man did say
There's
to me
no
when I
road
was doing
rage,
my
nothing.
when I was doing my scooter lessons, he was like, "No rules, but everyone is ready and anticipating."
Yeah.
And I was like,
You have to be switched on.
"That's actually, yeah."
You have to be in modern countries, you switch off, you stick in your fucking lane, you put your indicator on, you turn off, you follow the rules and you go into autopilot. Whereas here, there isn't that. There could be a dog, there could be kids, there's bikes doing all sorts. There's crossroads, no one indicates, everyone just pushes their way out. It's just like a fucking free for all. But it works. It works.
The traffic though is fucking horrendous. You couldn't drive a car. Like it would be the worst investment to bother getting a car. Would you not agree?
No. Yeah, we wouldn't need one, but you can understand why people have them.
I don't know. Just to get around is like a logistical nightmare. Unless you live like in the countryside. I think some of the people from our
I saw a
school.
Porsche the other day in Ubud.
I know there's some random fucking nice cars here. I mean, there's no sport. I haven't seen like a
No, this was like a
McLaren
Porsche
or
911.
something.
This was like a Porsche 911. Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe we should get one. But no, so the scooter thing, I think scooters are sick. I've just got to start practicing. That's pretty good, wasn't I? I saw the videos.
I haven't seen it. I
did show him. He just wasn't listening or watching. Glazed look over his face.
You won't be traveling with any children for a while. Let's put it that way.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Going solo.
Yeah. All right. Where are we at? What are we on?
Pros and cons. So
Cons. Okay. So their dogs are a con. Traffic maybe. What was the other one?
we spoke about work. I'm trying to think of any funny things that people wouldn't know
no
about
comprende.
Bali.
No comprende.
Yeah.
No comprende. That can be sometimes frustrating.
But you know what? Like, there's there's layers here. We have to be mindful. But there's layers. So I have a massive respect for anyone that speaks a second language. I can speak not fluent, but Portuguese. And I know that I've been in situations where I'm surrounded by people that are speaking this language and I can only catch in halfway. It's really tough, right? No, it's really tough. However, there is a level of like, no, we call it no comprende, where it's really challenging because you're trying your best and you're like, just to confirm,
No,
like
they
the other
accept.
day we had
Let
a
me
driver.
tell the story about Ari.
driver.
Let me tell Ari. So Ari, our nanny, we go, Ari.
One of our
The
nannies.
children didn't eat breakfast, so no ice cream, no chips, just chicken and rice, nasi goreng. Okay. Kids come home. What did you have for lunch? Chicken and chips. And we had ice cream. She gave us two, Daddy. And I'm like, Ari.
But she also sends me a picture of what they're having for lunch, which identifies this. So it's not like she's trying to hide it. She just, I don't know whether they just, I don't know.
I don't know if the kids.
But then, and then the driver the other day, we where did we go? We went to Canggu for a little family weekend thing. We like to do things at the weekends that are a bit different with the kids. And Henry's like, and the driver speaks really good English. And Henry's like, I need to go to an ATM, get some cash out. He's like, no worries, boss. An hour later, I'm texting Henry like, where the fuck are you? We need to go. And he's like, no comprende. He's like, I don't think he had any clue what I was saying. I don't know where we are, but he's only just realized that I wanted to get cash out. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Like things like that.
Oh,
Are just
it is funny though.
frustrating because
It is funny.
if you don't understand, of course,
Yeah.
they should just say like, "Sorry, can you explain?" Or we can put it in Google Translate. You know, we're not being mean about people not speaking English. That's completely, we're not getting at that. But just
No,
specifically
they
in
don't. Tell you
Bali,
what, the no
it doesn't
comprende at the
happen
airport at the kids queue. So there's at the airport in
in the
Bali.
kids'
There's
queue.
there's a families, vulnerable people, disabled people, right? So the most
Just
vulnerable
careful what you
people.
say because
I almost kick off every time I go. The
no,
most
of course you do, of course
vulnerable
you do.
people that could be in an airport have a special queue. People in a wheelchair,
Yeah,
young
yeah.
babies, right? You'd think you want to make sure that they're not stood around for hours, right? Anyway, so there's a queue for vulnerable people, and that queue is always the biggest queue, and they only have, generally speaking, one person checking passports, getting through immigration, and then they have three other counters with
So
people
it's for
on them
airline
for
staff
airline
and
staff, for people with
Ketas
kitas,
holders.
like special people, and there's no queues. There's no one coming,
Yeah.
and there's like two people sat there waiting, and there's one person with about fucking 100 people in his queue, and they don't go. They don't like right
No.
go to that
No.
one
Yeah.
or
Can you
help. It's
help?
like, and then you've got kids crying. The elderly can't stand up properly, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on
And the
here?
worst thing is I tried to wing it, guys, because there was it said Ketas and stay permits. And I was like, we've got a fucking stay permit. Henry's like, we're not Ketas though. I was like, we're not waiting in this fucking queue any longer. We've been on a massive flight with the kids. I'm fucking over it. So Henry's like, I'm gonna wait here just in case. I was like, no, come here, come on. So we go straight to the front of this queue because there's obviously a bloke doing sweet fuck all, just waiting. And I'm like, hello. Like, here's our passports. Bearing in mind, I've got Jude in the carrier. The other two nutters are fucking next to us. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you don't have Ketas? I'm like, not yet, but we've got a stay permit. And he's like, yeah, no, this queue. And I'm like, I think it's this queue. He was like, no, no, that one. He literally could have just stamped us through,
Mm,
no problem. But
yeah.
he made, and then we had to go to the back of the excessive queue,
Which had grown.
which was like, yeah, which had grown to like 200 people. All the kids were screaming. I was almost going to say, do you mind if we just nip back in? But couldn't, could we?
Yeah.
And you know, that level of just, I don't even know. It's just like, I don't give a fuck and I don't really care. I'm just going to do the whatever I want.
Yeah.
Is that kind of attitude. And it's the same with the no comprende element of like so our road has been broken a while, right? To our house, the track. So there's a bike track and there's a road track. It had got horrendously damaged through lots of rain, lifting up the bricks, blah blah blah. They weren't put down right in the first place, I would imagine, correct?
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, it's all lifted up. So everyone in the road commits some money to all the villas and houses because there's a lot to rebuild the road. So it's currently closed. And Henry's like, yeah, they're going to have to take this up, take out all the bricks, which they did. And he's like, then they're going to need a big roller,
I need to flatten it.
flatten everything out, get it all even, put the bricks back down, concrete it, cement. And then the other day, Henry's like, oh my fucking God. I went, what? He went, they haven't even flattened the road. This is going to be fucked again in 6 months. I'm like, for fuck's sake. You can almost guarantee that if you need anything done efficiently and to a very high standard for that kind of realm in Bali,
It's not going to happen.
it's
But they're
not.
fast. They are fast.
They're
They're really fast. Give them
Yeah,
credit.
but
They put
efficient
houses up
and
quickly.
fast are two different things.
I don't know. Like I'm amazed at how they build some houses sometimes with like, it's incredible. I mean, I was looking at that road. It's going to be.
It's going to be fucked again
Yeah,
very soon because it rains and it's normal. We live in the tropics. But yeah, that was some things like that are like,
But that's
oh my God.
But that's the what you get,
Yeah.
right? And that's the fun part of living in what's
Asia.
technically a third world country,
Yeah.
right? And you've got the built up concrete jungles of modern Australia, modern Britain, and modern Europe, which comes with so much organization and rules and regulations, which you fucking hate and you want to get out
We
of.
hate
So you
rules.
come to a place like Bali where it doesn't have that authoritarian system, that you have to abide by, and you have so much freedom. But
Mm.
also with that comes lack of organization, a bit of chaos, a bit of danger, and that's also, you know, swings roundabouts. So although it's a con, it's one that we very much accepted and
It's a
we
bit of us, mate.
embrace. We like
Chaos.
it, yeah.
Did someone say chaos and misorganization? Sign me up.
Yeah, that's our middle fucking name.
This is our middle.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's well suited, isn't it? And look, you know, no bare feet running around like gypsies. It's just what
Have you
we're
got
meant
shoes
to.
on?
Nope.
I mean, Hugo, like, we went through a stage where our eldest Hugo, who's 6, we were packing to go to Europe, and it was for Christmas, freezing cold. Watch the episode before to find out more. We were like, oh my God, he's got no shoes. We were about to go into the car for the airport,
Yeah.
truly unorganized. The man was waiting an hour and a half in the pissing rain to take us to the airport because we were late. And we were like, he has not got one pair
No,
of fucking shoes.
he had like, it'd been like 4 months and he
Yeah.
hadn't owned a pair of shoes or flip flops. And he's like, that if the pavement's hot, he just tiptoes and runs quickly. He's like, yeah, it's hot, Daddy, so I just don't put them down for too long.
He doesn't want to wear shoes. And then we'll buy him, I mean, we're not negligent, right? We buy him a pair of shoes.
And he leaves them
And
somewhere.
then because everywhere in Bali, like
You take your shoes off when
it's
you
a
get to
cultural thing,
somewhere.
like you take your shoes off at the steps and whatever. So he's got used to and accustomed to that. So he'll take them off and then never put them on back on.
No.
And then he gets home and I'm like, where's your shoes? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, for fuck's sakes, we just don't bother with shoes. I mean, yeah. Even the man, I picked him up on a Gojek yesterday from school and the man was like, no shoes. I was like, nah, just no shoes. Grounding. For those who are spiritually inclined, it's called grounding.
All right, we're gonna have to wrap this one up. That was been a funny one, but
it was a good one.
We've done
Pros and cons of Bali.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
so if you are
fantastic.
thinking about living in Bali, I would highly suggest it, even doing a stint. I don't know anyone that's come out here to live or to stay for a long period of time and has regretted it.
No.
It's brilliant.
And I've got a great visa agent. He's awesome. And we know a great podcast studio.
Bit of eggnog while you're doing it.
Bit of eggnog and a coconut or oats English breakfast tea. I'm only joking, guys. Thanks so much. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening
and hopefully laughing. Be sure to leave us a review, and if you're into the madness,
check out the links below to follow our day-to-day journey.
Stay tuned for the next episode.